Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming back to the channel. Today, I have a really great interview lined up with one of the biggest wholesale operators in the country. He literally 10x'd his revenue. He went from doing 30 to 40,000 a month to now doing 300 to $400,000 a month after getting started with Fund and Grow. So that's today's video. Let's jump into it. All right, guys. So I have Nick Perry on the line right now with me. How you doing, Nick?
Dude, thanks for having me on, Mike. Love Fund and Grow. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for taking time to join us. I know you're super busy. You got a huge team. You're constantly, wholesaling properties every month. We'll get into all those details. So thank you so much for your time today. So let's just jump right into it. So basically, Nick's a client of ours. He's been with us since about 2017, and we were just talking about some of the numbers he was doing back then, how he used the credit. So first off, let's just have everybody get to know you a little bit, give everybody a little backstory, and just kind of tell them where you were at a few years ago and where you're at now. One of the biggest wholesaling companies, real estate wholesaling real estate companies in the country. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. 6 years ago, I started doing real estate. I moved to Austin, Texas from Northern Virginia. Didn't really know anybody down here. I was at a new chapter in my life where I needed to decide what I wanted to do. I wanted to be my own boss. So started watching a ton of YouTube videos and spending a lot of time and money that I didn't have to do marketing and go on seller appointments, and struck out the entire way through in the beginning. Had to get a job for a little while. I got a job at Indeed.com, and rose the ranks as a sales guy there. President Club, Top Gun, got all the awards, and was able to take that commission money and within a short period of time transition out. I took all my commissions from Indeed, went right into and just put it into my real estate business. So,
Nice.
2017, I was making 30, sometimes up to $50,000 a month. Uh, you know, and I was a full-time real estate investor. Just transitioned out of corporate America, and slowly built. I had a couple employees at that time, a couple of acquisition guys. I was doing dispositions, and beginning of 2019 was when I said, you know what, it's time to really double down. We know what we're doing. It's just we need more capital to be able to expand operations and expand revenue. So, early 2019, got in office. I knew what my headcount needed to be to hit our revenue goals, and I knew what my expenditures were going to need to be to hit those revenue goals as well. And fortunately, I'd been with Fund and Grow since 2017, so I have an arsenal of credit available to me, which I was able to utilize and you know take that available credit, put it into marketing, put it into startup expenses, office equipment. I think I even put a couple payrolls on there using plastic. So in that beginning time period, that really gave us the runway to be able to explode our business in a pretty quick amount of time.
Nice. That's awesome. So you worked at Indeed, you got into real estate, wholesaling properties, doing about 40,000 a month, you were saying, and you ended up getting some funding with Fund and Grow. How much did you end up getting with us total?
Dude, I collect credit cards like people collect baseball cards. So like here's here's my collection, bro. I got them all
Damn.
categorized with when the 0% expires, how
I
much the
like that.
available limits are on them. Like Fund and Grow has turned me into a complete credit nerd. So
That's awesome,
I'm
man.
on all the forums, Doctor Credit.
Yeah?
But back then, last year I think I had like somewhere in like the 200, like 200 and like
Yeah?
30 grand. Like right now, I have 321,000.
Yeah, that reminds me of
So
my Pokemon collection
yeah,
from back
yeah,
in the
that's
day when I was a
that's in
kid.
my collection.
That's
So
awesome, man. Wow, that's cool. I've never seen anybody put them in a binder like that. I like that. We might start
thanks,
recommending
man.
that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's helpful to keep organized.
So you got like 200, how much was it?
Back right now, I have 321,000 in available credit.
321,000. Wow. You know what's funny?
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone noticed it yet, but me and Nick noticed it right when we got on the video. We both have the same Wolf of Wall Street, randomly have the same picture in the background. So if anybody noticed that, that wasn't planned out, but very
yeah.
coincidental. That's cool. So you got $321,000. That's or 320,000. That's great. Um, and so you were telling me before we started, you used it mostly on marketing and payroll. And now tell everybody what your revenue is now compared to what it was before you started with us.
So yeah, last month, and as the recording right now, it's April 14th, 2020. March was a record month for us. We did just over 400. So now, this month's going to be a little bit slower with COVID.
Woo!
You
Wow! Oh my God, that's
messed
10.
up,
You
but
10 extra
we're
revenue.
still cranking. Yeah,
10 extra
we're still
revenue from a
cranking.
few years ago.
Correct. I mean, without having that liquidity and runway, it would
Mm-hmm.
have been it would have been a real grind to make that happen. It would have
Right.
stretched me financially and maybe do things I wouldn't have wanted to do. But I knew what my KPIs were.
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly, A plus B equals C. So
Mm-hmm.
I had a very high degree of certainty. If I spend this on this marketing channel with this amount of reps, it will produce this amount of revenue. So that's exactly what I did.
That's awesome,
After
man.
coming back from a mastermind, I said, this is the answer. I need to just quit being gun shy and make it happen. So that was one of the best decisions of my life. I still would say, like business and financially, Fund and Grow is one of the smartest moves I've made, hands down.
Wow. That's awesome. I love hearing that. Um, it's great to, to do these interviews and talk with people who are doing really big things like you are. I just had another guy on the call, on an interview he owns 45 rentals, and he owns an insurance company and a mortgage company also. And, because we work with a lot of people that are in the startup phase, but we also have a ton of savvy investors, guys who are running big businesses like you guys. So you guys are doing 400,000 a month now. That's about, what is that for the year? Like last year, what'd you guys do?
Last year we did like 1.7 mil,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
the majority of that was Q2 through Q4.
Nice.
So
So this year,
yeah.
2 million easily.
No, I mean we're shooting for 3.5 is what we'll probably pace to this
Nice.
year. But I mean, by I would say Q3 will be pacing well over 5 mil.
Let's talk real quick about COVID and anything you're seeing since you're doing like, what are you doing, like 30 deals a month?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, because I know a guy out here who supposedly is doing 4 mil a month or 4 mil a year, around 40 deals a month. So that's why I figured you were right around that 30 mark. So you're right on
25
track.
to 35 deals a month is what's actually closed and funded. I mean, we contract a lot more than that, but things happen with wholesale contracts. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll close and fund 25 to 35 deals a month.
So how are you guys doing right now? Since this whole crisis is going down, are you seeing an increase? Are you
I
like,
mean,
what
we're
are you
still
seeing?
banging through fund. We'll close, I think, like 96 grand this week. And it's just been a lot slower. Basically the same thing, everybody else has been saying, right? We've got, title companies and municipalities moving slower than usual. Uh, less, a lot of buyers that are wait and see right now. So
Yep.
on dispositions, you got to talk to a lot more people to find that, buyer. There's a lot of buyers that are gun shy, wait and see, or they just completely pulled out of the market. Like one of our biggest buyers, he had a huge he was an executive and had a big W-2 salary, and he pulled out because he got laid off. So you're getting stuff like that in the market. With
Mm-hmm.
your sellers, if they're owner occupant, they know they don't have to pay their mortgage or rent, or their tenants don't have to pay rent. So there's a lot of sellers that are on the fence if they're a owner occupant living in the house because they know they don't have to pay right now. So that's going to come full circle when
Gotcha.
that forbearance period um, is over here in 90 to 120 days. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens then.
Yeah. Nice. So you still did 96,000. People are a little bit gun shy. I know it's like harder to get in and out of houses and all that stuff. And I have seen personally buyers who are usually buying, but they're hesitant right now. But I've also had a couple people text me and say, "Hey, you have anything right now? I'm still buying." So there's some that are ready to pounce, but some are, yeah, definitely a little bit more gun shy right now. That's cool. So you were telling me before also that so you use the funding you got with us for marketing. So direct mail, is that what you guys do? Are you doing like pay per click or a little
Yeah, we
everything?
do heavy PPC.
Yeah.
So we do primarily online advertising. We did, last year we did do a lot of cold calling, SMS, RVM. Right now, we're doing really well with PPC. So that's the channel that is the best ROI. So, Google, I get constant notifications from Amex, $500, $500, from
From
my
who?
Fund and Grow Amex cards, from Google charging my Amex cards. So, you know,
Ah.
we're, yeah,
So
we,
every
we
time you
run
get a lead, it goes off. Is that what you're saying?
every time they charge my card,
Oh, okay.
Amex gives me the notification. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, we spend, uh, 50 to $60,000 in pay-per-click advertising a month.
Nice. So that's your number one?
That's our number one, hands down.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been running pay-per-click advertising campaigns. I mean, when I was at Indeed, I did it for a living, so I'm comfortable with online advertising.
Ah.
Yeah, I know some people crush it with direct mail. It's
Yeah.
I don't do very well with it. Same thing
It's
with cold calling. I'm more of an online guy than an offline guy. So
yeah, me too. I've done some direct mail campaigns and it's costly and you get a lot of return postcards and you kind of feel like you're not as efficient as you could be. So that
yeah,
was
some
actually
people
my
crush
next
it with
thing.
it. It's not my cup of tea. I spent like 30 grand on a direct mail campaign back in November just to just to see if it worked, and it bombed for me. I'm sure other people would have got deals from it, but my acquisition guys are so comfortable with the warm, hot
Mm,
PPC leads that it just doesn't perform as well as it does for other investors in my
nice.
company.
Yeah, yeah, because they're too busy taking the easy sales. They got to spend all this time working all these these weird leads to death. So I get that. It's kind of like here, we had one of my affiliates reached out and was like, "Hey, no, why isn't anyone calling any of my leads?" And I'm like, "Well, we are calling the leads that qualify, but if they do a pre-qualification and they don't qualify, and then the system tells them that they don't qualify, and here's what they need to do, we don't usually need to call those leads because we're busy calling the ones who qualify." But that's cool. That's awesome. Pay per click. I'm gonna probably start doing that. I'm trying to build my own on the side, but I'm not putting too much energy into it. It's more of a hobby at this point. But I like the pay per click model better than direct mail. I feel like it's less involved. There's less that I have to do with that system for sure. So everything that we got for you, was it all business credit, or did we get any personal in the beginning to build that up, or was it straight business?
No, it was straight business credit because I already had you know, um, my LLC's been around since 2015, so
Mm,
I think we were right over that 2 year mark when I started, and that helped out. Yeah, since then I've been able to, really boost my business credit profile. I mean, my Paydex, DNB Paydex is on point. Basically, I can walk into any lender at any time with a stellar personal score and really strong, business financials. So
mm-hmm.
it's served me well.
Nice.
Spending the time to get that credit profile built up
So you
with
went.
y'all's help.
So you built the Dun and Bradstreet side of it with us as well, the corporate paydex
I
score, all that, or you
I
already
think
had that.
I think Retrina, my rep, she advised that, hey, you may want to go ahead and do this. And so I took it upon my own initiative. Like I said, man, I'm a credit nerd, so I'm always trying to figure out, hey, how can we move the needle,
Hmm.
further and take
Nice.
things, down the
Yeah.
road
See,
more.
the Dun and Bradstreet side is a great thing. It builds up your paydex score, so now you've got the personal and the corporate paydex score rating in your favor. So a lot of people only focus on the personal, the zero interest business credit, and they worry about that, and they don't worry about. But you went and set up the Dun and Bradstreet side of things, which is good. That's definitely going to help you in the future, especially like let's say you want to start buying commercial property or apartment buildings. A lot of those loans you can get without a personal guarantee. Having that corporate credit rating is going to help that a
I
lot.
mean, it adds credibility in a lot of aspects. I mean, even when I negotiated the lease on this office, I showed him my paydex score. That that helped,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm in Austin, Texas. Office space here is super competitive. Like they want to make sure that they got a rock solid tenant
Mm-hmm.
when they put somebody in. So like I had to compete on the office space that I'm in, and having that strong business credit
Mm-hmm.
definitely helped my case.
That's awesome. How long have you been working on that side of the Dun& Bradstreet thing?
Probably it's been like a couple years now.
Nice.
So it's, yeah,
So you got like
Paydex is,
Home Depot and all different types of credit lines set up?
yeah, Lowe's, Home Depot. I have a couple of other trade lines like Net 30s as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that reports back. Um,
Nice.
but
That's good.
yeah, man, it's definitely important, and not just negotiating leases, but like you said, with commercial as well. If you ever want to get into, um, you know, that's going to come up in conversation, and you don't want to be caught off guard.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So it looks like we just did another round of funding for you.
Yep,
Is that right?
we're just finishing up right now. So, because I've been with you guys for a few years now, like I think John, I have like four different Bank of America cards. He's merging them all into one as we speak. Um, he just did the same with my Chase cards. So, a lot of my cards have, really high limits on there now, which is wonderful. Allows me to, do more things on one card rather than space it out on, a
Nice.
bunch of different cards.
Yeah, so if anyone is watching that's ever been on one of our webinars or a sales call or any of our other content videos, it's exactly what we talk about. We talk about getting you 3 rounds of funding and being able to merge the newer accounts into the older accounts so that you can use the new zero interest, but also still retain the limit that you used to have, combine them into one account, and you should still have the seasoning from the original account when you look at that, like when the bank looks at that and they pull your business credit report, they should be able to see that that's not a brand new account. So that's exactly what we talk about on webinars. That's exactly what we do for people, and you guys just heard it firsthand from a client. That's what we did with him as well. What would you say is the like, I don't know, the biggest thing that helped you go into our program? Just having access to capital, obviously. I don't know. Is there any other things that you'd like to add, or if anyone's like thinking about doing this? Because I know a lot. Every time I talk to clients, it's the same thing. I was skeptical. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't sure. It sounded weird. Credit, business credit cards. But you're using it to use it. You're using it for payroll, so you're using plastic, which is a third party that we
I
work
don't
with.
anymore. I did that. Yeah, I did that for a little bit, but dude, man, I mean, you got to have your money right as a business owner, right? You have to have not only access to liquidity, but there's a thing in business is called leverage. You got to know how to use leverage. I'm not saying you get these cards and you go out and you buy stuff that's not going to get you a return on investment. If you know you're going to get a return on investment, then go out and spend the money. Don't be scared. Go out and spend the money, and you need credit cards. If you can't bet on yourself to say, hey, I'm going to go front load, $20,000, $30,000 in marketing, and I'm going to be able to get a return, you don't know your KPIs, and you really probably shouldn't be in business. I think you take a little bit more time and keep paying for it out of your checking account if you're not confident. But if you're confident, then go out there, give yourself some runway. As an established business owner, you should be running your business through credit cards anyway. Not only do you have purchase protection if one of your vendors tries to screw you, but you're also accruing points too. Like I don't know the last time that I paid for a vacation out of my own pocket because I'm running, 60, $70,000 of expenses through credit card every single month and paying it off.
Yep.
So yeah, and then if I want to go take down a property, easy. I can go, just use one of my cards, either pay it all in cash, or I can use the card and fund the down payment of
Mm-hmm.
the hard money through the card. So
Yep.
I've got options.
So yeah, definitely, I agree too. Like a lot of the people who are the most skeptical are usually the people who don't really have that confidence, like what you're talking about, being able to front load and know that you're going to make a return. Those people tend to be the most skeptical because they're not as savvy with what they're going to do with the money, or as savvy with real estate or whatever their business is. Because this isn't only for real estate, but primarily we have a lot of real estate investor clients. So yeah, having that confidence, knowing what you're going to use it for, but at the same time, taking the leap of faith, because having the knowledge, knowing what to do with it, but just kind of being a little too gun shy and not wanting to spend the money, not wanting to come out of pocket, that's not the right move either. Like if like for me, example, I figured out how to do the whole wholesaling, finding discounted off market properties, and I was real slow to start in the beginning. But once I got access to credit, I started spending more because I didn't have to come out of my own pocket. But I first had to figure it out. How does it work? And then once I realized, wow, there's something going on here. I can scale this. Let me put more money into it. Then at that point I started getting deals way more often. So definitely a good point right there. But money is money. You can go out and try to get a business loan or try to get a business line of credit. And as a real estate investor, that's not easy. You're going to have to provide tax returns and all kinds of different things with a traditional loan or a business line of credit, which most investors have a hard time with. And that's why using business credit in this form, zero interest business credit cards that don't show up on your personal report, that's why this is really the best option for a lot of people, because there's less hoops to jump through. It's quicker, and there's a lot of benefits to it. Like you just said, the cashback rewards, the travel rewards, the fact that it doesn't show up on your personal report, you get 0% interest for an average of 12 months. It makes it a no-brainer. So
Yeah, I mean, big companies, how do you think they get big, right? Very few companies are going out there and just like bootstrapping it and like collecting cash and then like, just divvying out what they have.
it would take a
No, they
lot
go out and
longer.
they get
Yeah.
credit, right? So, I'm a huge advocate for, using credit cards to, wisely to get yourself down the road faster.
Yeah.
You're paying for speed is what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. Speed, convenience, all that. Less hoops to jump through. And that's why we just have so many clients that come to us. Maybe at first you're a little skeptical, but once you look around the marketplace, there's not that many other options available for a loan with stated income without having to provide tax returns. It's a big benefit. It's all credit based. I mean, that's really the qualifier. Is your credit. So you guys just heard it first directly from a client of ours who is literally running one of the biggest wholesaling real estate operations in the country. I only know of a couple other guys who are in the 2 to 3 million range annually. So this Nick Perry is definitely one of the savviest wholesalers in the country, and he went through Fund and Grow. He got about 300,000. He signed up again as a client. And he's got a whole Pokemon binder full of his credit cards, and he literally 10x his business. I mean, I'm not trying to say it was all because of Fund and Grow. Obviously, this guy knows what he's doing. He's a hustler, but I mean, before he started, he was making 30 to 40,000 a month, right? And now you're doing 300 to 400,000 a month because you got the funding you needed, so you can expand your operations, hire more people, do more marketing. How much did you say you're spending a month in marketing? 30, was it?
No, we spend, 45, something up to 60,000, right
That's
around 50
awesome.
a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we're doing some pretty big numbers over here at Fund and Grow, and we're also spending a good amount of money on Facebook ads, a little bit of Google pay per click, and of course our affiliates. We spend a lot to pay our affiliates every month. So you got to spend money to make money, and scared money don't make money. So you guys got to get access to funding, make it happen. If you have a trade, if you know how to do real estate, if you know how to do wholesaling, if you have an Amazon business, whatever the business is. I just interviewed a truck driver the other day, and he told me he kind of wishes that he would have put the money towards real estate investing instead of building the truck fleet, but that's his next move. So it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. This really does work for anyone. We've got doctors, lawyers, all different types of business owners that come through our program. So if you're interested in this, feel free to go to the link in the description. Pre-qualify. You can get on the phone with one of our experts. They'll go over everything with you. Or you can just smash the like button, give us a subscribe. That way, we can get this kind of content out there for people who are looking for money for their business. This is a great option. It's affordable, and like you heard it from Nick, it really helped him 10x his business. And so I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, or if you want to maybe
Yeah,
throw
I
out
mean,
like a little
last thing, like,
networking.
yeah, last thing, man, is right now, especially at the time this is being recorded, nobody really knows what's going to happen with the economy. But if it does take a downturn, you don't want to be left on the sidelines without any liquidity. You need to go out there and you need to get some 0% interest liquidity. So when opportunities do arise, you can capitalize on them, because the people that have money are going to be the ones. That's when the transfers of wealth happen. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
don't get caught sitting on the sidelines, just trying to work things out of out of your own, personal checking account or business checking account. I would advise go out there, get as many lines of credit, private money lined up right now as possible, and you'll be sitting in a really good position if things do, get worse with the economy.
Yeah, and I mean that's what everyone's saying. It's not, it's not just me, it's not just Nick. Everyone's saying the same thing right now. Get your funding ready. The people that have money right now, the people that are in a good position right now over the next year are going to be the ones who will become, multimillionaires down the road. And I've heard, I've talked to a lot of other guys. I don't know if you were in real estate. No, I think you were probably working with Indeed last crash, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I didn't fully experience it either. I was pretty much out of high school a couple years at that point, so I wasn't in this world at that point. But I know I've talked to many investors through the mastermind I'm a part of who did go through that, and that's exactly what they're saying. There's a huge transfer of wealth coming, and the people that have their money right now are going to be able to capitalize and take advantage of like 30 cents on the dollar, or just even cheaper deals than what we're already seeing. So definitely look into it. I mean, we have more clients signing up with us right now than we've ever had before. We're on track for one of our biggest months this month. We just brought on over 200 clients. We did an internal promotion to our list and to our YouTube, and we brought in over 200 clients. And just over the weekend, just people are just signing up like crazy right now because they're all thinking the same thing. The savvier people are realizing now's the time. Let me get access to funding during this crisis, this COVID shit. Let me get prepared, because thanks to this flu, the whole economy's crashing, and people can't even go outside and they can't operate businesses. Everyone's losing jobs, unemployment's up. So, hopefully that's not affecting you, drastically. Hopefully that's not, a big problem for you. And if you don't know anything about wholesaling, do you do any coaching at all, or not yet?
No, I mean, I'm an operator. I've got 11 employees, so I do, sometimes I'll do Zoom calls with other CEOs and things like that. But outside of that, I'm not going out there and doing any coaching.
Okay. What about if anyone is in your market? Would you want them to be able to like contact you if they have any deals, or we could throw your contact info or your website, your business number, or something like that in the description. I always throw that out there for everyone I interview, so they get a little
Yeah, I mean, if
exposure.
anybody wants to get in contact with me, I'm pretty responsive on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Nick Perry REI. So just Nick Perry REI. If you need anything, if you need like a consulting call or something, you can DM me. But other than that, man, it's all value, all love for what Fund&Grow's done for my business the past few years. And I mean, we're just going to keep going. I plan to be on board for a long time with you guys.
Nice. You said Nick Perry REI.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I think I found you. Nice. Cool. All right, man. Well, I think we pretty much covered everything. So if you guys liked the video, give us a like, subscribe. A lot more info like this coming out soon. And until next time, we really appreciate your time. If you want to pre-qualify, if you want to find out more about how this could work for you, go to the link in the description, get some more info. There's some videos that you'll get after you opt in on that webpage, and somebody will also give you a call. But like I said, until next time, we appreciate everyone's time, and we hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.